Hello guys, MikuChibi here, welcome back to another Sword Online Factor, and today we're gonna have a look at the newest banner, the Christmas Selection Order 2024. So, short about the banner itself, it is a guaranteed banner where every 11 order you do, you are at least guaranteed one 4-star. And for the future 4-star, it is all 4-star skill record that have appeared in Christmas order up until 2023. So from 2017 till 2023, and for Christmas 2024 they are not included in this banner. And I believe there is about 30 skill record in this banner, right? So there's a lot, and if you're looking for specific skill, you have 1 in 30 skill record to get. Yeah, the rate doesn't look the best, of course, and the guaranteed you have 3.25% chance to get the skill you really want. Yeah. So we're gonna have a look on the scale what you can get, and then talk about if this banner worth to summon or not. Let's start with first skill. The first skill we're gonna have a look at is Shia X Masashi with a sword skill with Holy Tempest animation, 30 SP to use, and has slash holy, 720% damage, 10 hit AoE, bonus minus 50% damage taken while active. This is not bonus but is effect. I'm using an old screenshot here. The reason why, because on the Borderline data, it doesn't include any of the stats or effect, so I'm using an old screenshot here. And minus 50% damage is decent, right? But it is an old skill, and if you were playing it back in 2018, this was a must skill to get, but nowadays you don't really need it. It's pretty much useless, that's all. Next up, Holy Knight Yuki is a pass skill that gives more damage to enemy that weak to blunt. You're getting 22.8%, which is not bad, and also increase attack by 3.6. A really old skill, of course, and a better alternative, but still it's decent to equip if you don't have anything better. Next one, Holy Fist Kirito is a main skill buff, and it's buffing your party members crit rate by up to 30% for 6 seconds, which is not bad, but there are better alternatives, and nowadays it is pretty hard to crit because the boss has crit resistance, and sometimes the individual rely on buffing themselves, so you don't really need it. So a decent buff, but you don't really need the skill. Kind Xmas Asuna is another pass skill that has Angel Gift 4, restore 26 HP on crit hit, once per skill. Yeah, not the best. You're getting flat 26 HP back for every crit hit. And for skills, it only counts as once. This passive is pretty bad. Just don't use it, like, it's so old. White Noel Asuna is a rapid skill with Frost and Water. It does 680% damage, 5 hit AoE, Water Element weak 4 debuff, Water Element damage to monster plus 23% for 10 seconds. Not a bad debuff where you can use it on enemy that are weak to water, so it helps increasing damage for your teammates as well. So it is not bad, can be really useful. But still, you don't really need this skill at all. Silent Knight Lifa, a pass skill that gives you max HP 80% and top 4 flinch resistance increased by 80%. Flinch resistance can be good, but you don't really need it. There are better skills that can buff you up to 100, if I remember, Tag Argo I believe. So it is passive that you don't really need, and you prefer having more attack or something else that provides something better. Max HP, you don't really need that. Holy Present Xenon, a bow skill with Frost and Water, 680% damage, 3 hit AoE, Frostbite, it will Frostbite 3 stack a specific rate for 30 seconds. Yeah, not the best effect here on the skill, not really useful. In battle, you don't really use this skill at all. Pretty useless. Pretty Santa Silica is a spear skill, slash and holy, 600% damage, 3 hit AoE, 1 slot bonus, recover 5% of max HP when defeating monster with these skills. Decent bonus, but you don't really need that. More than regular increase on switch gauge, you're getting 60 switch gauge. Yeah, pretty old skill, it costs 30 SP to use. I don't really want it. I prefer using a full burst that costs 30 SP than this skill itself. White Christmas Alice pass skill, it gives you more attack, 7.2%. Battle experience 4, additional damage according to number of hits when you attack. Yeah, this effect here, not that really useful anymore. Pretty bad as well. So this pass skill is pretty old, pretty bad, that's all. Blue Holy Knight Juju with Axe and Blunt and Holy, 30 SP, 730% damage, 5 hit AoE, Toko 5 buff, minus 50% damage taken for 4 seconds. Yeah, not the best skill, pretty old as well, and you don't really need it. Holy Knight President Kirito, a pass skill, Veteran Sword Technique 3, attack power increase with own level times 0.12%, max 24%. Small Gift 4, restore 2.6% of your own max HP on critical hits. I would say it's decent, but in late game you can't really crit, so this one is pretty much useless. And we also have Veteran Sword Technique 4, which gives more attack, and the max cap is 34 instead of 24. So yeah, still decent, but you don't really need it. If you do get Veteran Sword Technique 4, it is much better to equip that than this one. Holy Knight with Duke Koharu, which is spear skill, Frozen Holy, for SP, 880% damage, 10 hit AoE. One slot bonus. When increased critical rate buff is effective for yourself, critical rate plus 50%. When increasing critical damage buff is effective for yourself, deal 5000 additional damage. Yeah, not best, pretty useless. Holy Element Week 3 debuff, Holy Element damage to a monster plus 30% for 50 seconds. Not bad, but I'm pretty sure there are better buff and debuff here. It is a decent skill, but a better alternative skill that can provide better stuff. And also it costs 30 SP to use. No thank you. Carola of Joy Yuki, another passive skill is Awakening, Witness Attack 3, critical damage plus 10%. If you can crit, it can be useful, otherwise not. Swift Switch 5, for 5 seconds, minus 3% damage taken plus 50% evasion rate when you're hitting using Switch. Not bad, can be really useful if you are tanking an enemy and it does its ultimate ability. It can be useful. Quantify adds a buff when evading plus 30% critical rate for 8 seconds. And not really useful. On late game, this one is not really useful. This one Quantify is not really useful. I guess this one is alright. 5 seconds is pretty long. Unless the enemy is charging, so you have to time it. When Rush activate, extend the effect Rush by 5 seconds, which is not bad, increasing your Rush duration by 5 seconds. And your Rush duration is 25, so 30 Rush duration, not bad. Lovely Custom Cake Elizabeth, May Scale, Blunt and Holy, 780% damage AoE, 2 slot bonus, additional damage to enemy of 30% of own current HP while your own buff is in effect. Okay, so you need a buff on yourself, and this one gives additional damage of your 30% of your current HP. Not the best bonus. There are better bonus out there. Yeah, not the best. Old skill as well. You don't really need it, pretty useless. Use of Taste Sachi is a spear skill, Frozen Spotter, 1160% damage, 3 hit AoE, 2 slot bonus, attack rise 500 times of the critical skill in the same set. Not the best bonus, there are better alternative, and more than regular increase in switch gauge, which is not bad, 84 switch gauge. And it's AoE, so when you're farming mob, this one is a really good skill to have, maybe on when you're farming weapon speed or when you're farming on floor 56 for EXP, which is not bad. Snowy Sky Present Allies is a sword skill / water, and this is a mod skill. Yep, it's a mod skill. 1070% damage, 3 hit AoE, 2 slot bonus, damage plus 3% to enemy when using war skill. When equipping 1 or more critical skill in the same set plus 5 attack. More than regular increase in switch gauge, 84, not bad. Mod skill, for sure, this is an old generation mod skill. There are better water mod skill out there for sword. But this one is not bad still, you can still use it for sure, but there are better alternative. Has the Winter General Juju, axe skill / water, 1200% damage in a target, 2 slot bonus, damage plus 50% to enemy when using war skill. And when equipped 1 or more critical skill in the same set plus 1 attack, increase in break gauge amount, and break gauge is at 99. This one is a not bad skill, but there are better mods out there when it comes to axe, especially water axe. But still, you can still use this one in like connect skill or something like that, where you want to increase the break gauge on the enemy so it breaks faster. Then it's pretty good, otherwise you don't really need this one. A Clumsy Peasant Xenon is a bow skill, Frozen Water. It does 1070% damage AoE, 2 slot bonus, same as Juju and Allies, 3% damage when using water skill, and when you equip 1 critical skill you gain final attack, and also has switch gauge. Not bad skill, you can use it on floor 31 when you're farming Labyrinth, but I would say the same as for Asuna. There are better mod bow skill that is water, they are much stronger and faster. This one is pretty much old, outdated, and there are better alternative that is much stronger. But still, you can still use this one if you don't have anything better. Decoration in Progress Asana is an awakening skill, passive. Damage done to enemy with the blunt, 22.8, like I said. So this one is a better alternative instead of this Yuki one here. Still, you can still use Yuki, but if you have better, you definitely want to use that. So this one is much better than Yuki. Frost Protection 4, reduce damage from 30% Frost Element monster, basically enemy that is weak to blunt. So this pass is pretty good. And also you have evasion rate plus 4%, not bad. Decent pass skill, which is used in situational fight. You don't really need it, but if you have it, you can equip it. If you have other pass skill that is much better, that provides something else, then you can replace this one pretty easy. Holy Knight Banquet UE is a dag skill / unholy. It does 1130% damage to a single target. Poison status man. It will poison 3 stack at specific rate for 30 seconds. Not the best. One slot bonus when play is status element. Poison, burn, bleed, frostbite, curb the ability, attack plus 25%. Yeah, not the best. When you activate the burst, you need to do /holy/holy. And it will deal 3160% damage to each single target. Inflict poison 5 stack per second. Much better than the normal one. If you have status element on yourself, you will receive 50% more attack. Not bad. Not a bad burst skill, but there are much stronger burst skill out there, so you don't really need this one. Pretty much old. You can easily replace this one, but still, it can be still really useful for example, Chaos Showdown level 175, the Dallas one, which is currently in this rotation right now, so it can be good. Otherwise, you don't really need this one. It's not necessary that needed. The Final Touch Yuna is a mace skill, blunt the water. It does 1880% damage with AoE, muscle build of 4, attack plus 1% per stack, 3 stack for 20 seconds, not a bad buff, and recover your SP by 8, 16, 24 SP when critical rate is activated. Basically, you have crit to gain SP back. Like I mentioned before, late game bosses have crit resistance, so it is pretty hard to crit as well. And this one is only for yourself, so you are the only one that is benefiting this one. But if this was a party, it could be really useful. But since it is only for yourself and this one as well, it's a decent mace skill that you can play around for sure. Blunt the water, we do have floor 23 where you can use this one, but pretty sure there are better alternatives. Smiling Winter General Kirito, spear skill, frost and water, 1280% damage, 10 hit AoE, dual 4 buff, adds a buff to yourself and the enemy when you hit. Self, on yourself, attack plus 29% for 50 seconds, not bad. Enemy attack plus 1% per stack, 5 stack for 30 seconds. This buff is fine if you can remove this one here. So basically you need a skill that can remove the attack, which spear has like 3 skill, I believe. So it is not bad as long as you can remove the enemy's attack, that's all. Weak defense 4, enemy defense minus 26% for 10 seconds. And awakening damage plus 50% when using switch. Not a bad skill, decent support skill for sure, but it has long animation, 10 hit, we don't really like that on spear. And also there are better alternatives out there, so you don't really need it. There are some skills that does minus 100% instead of 26%. And this buff here, 29% attack, is a lot, but there are better buff out there that you can replace it. Dashing over town Asana with a rape skill, Frost and Dark, 1530% damage to a single target. Ultimate Light 4 buff, own critical rate raise and reduce the next damage taken, 5 stack for 20 seconds. So you gain 1% per stack and minus 1% per stack. So you can get up to 99% crit rate and minus 99% next damage taken. This buff is not bad, but the only issue is that effect will be removed by taking damage. So if you just get one hit, everything, all your stack is gone. That's it. Which I don't really like. I don't really like this one, but still it can be good. It has 96 switch gate because it's an axe skill, so it's not bad. And if you're using this on switch, you're getting more stack, 15 stack instead of 5, not bad. But there are better buff out there, I don't really like it and you don't really need this one. Careful down in the Simni Koharu is a dark skill, slash on dark, 1480% treat single target, dark pile buff, dark element damage plus 1% per stack, 3 stack for 20 seconds, and if you use switch, you will gain 9 stack instead of 3. Not bad, decent support, of course. 96 switch gate is a lot, pretty good, and is also axe skill. Can be good for floor 69 if you have a dagger DPS set. Not bad skill, great support, but you don't really need this one. Under the Winter Sky Yuki, a pass skill that has Training Result 4 and Bloody Blow 4. Critical damage increased by your own level, time point 14%, max 28 crit damage. So you can get max 28% crit damage, and also you gain 20% attack against bleeding enemy. Yeah, not the best passive, and like I said many times, late game bosses had high crit resistance, so it's pretty hard to crit. So if you can crit, this passive is pretty much useless. 20% attack against bleeding enemy is pretty good, but you already have like Power Wise 3 that gives you up to 20% attack as well. So you don't really need this one for sure. Secret Present Elizabeth is an awakening skill. It does 1150% damage single target. Holy Force 5 buff, party. Holy Man damage plus 80% for you and your party for 5 seconds. Not a bad buff. Party weakness attack 4. When equipping 8 Elizabeth skill in the same set, critical damage plus 80% for you and party member for 50 seconds. Okay, yeah, that means you have to equip 7 more Elizabeth skill in the same set, which can be pretty hard. And nowadays, when it comes to Elizabeth, she does have many skill, but when doing a maze build, there are some pass skill and active skill that is much better. For example, Yuna, she has some decent skill as well. I would say the only thing that is really good is this Holy Force 5 buff. Pretty good for any holy element content. For example, floor 91, the dragon there, is weak to blunt and holy, so you can buff your party member there. It only gives you 8% crit damage, which you don't really need since you can't really crit on the enemy. Not the best skill, you don't really need this one. But the Awakening, raise 10 stack for all stack on yourself, is pretty good. A Feast of Meat of Cake Kirito is a main skill, Blunt and Earth. 1240% damage treating a target, Earth Force 4, Earth element damage plus 30% for 50 seconds. And when using the burst, you need to do Earth, Blunt, Wind. Pretty hard to do that. 3470% damage treating a target. Earth Force 5 party buff. Okay, so this one is just single target for yourself, and this one when you activate the burst, you will give it for your party as well. Earth element damage plus 18% for you and your party member for 15 seconds. Yeah, I would say this is a decent burst skill, or this one is a full burst. When it comes to full burst, everyone prefer damage burst instead of use support, so this one is not the best. And Blunt and Earth content, you have floor 51 that you can use, but no one is farming that. I would say this is like a right skill, depends on the content you are using it for. And there aren't that many Blunt Earth content for sure, unless you're farming floor 51. Other than that, you will never use this skill for sure. Beaming Star Smile Sanya is a pass skill with super enhanced heal, play with by ear 5. Effect of healing item and field object plus 84%. This one is not bad if you're tanking or farming on floor. Play by ear 5, attack plus 21% when HP is above 3%, and defense plus 30% when HP is 3%. I can see this one being good for tanking, gives you more healing and also you get more attack, and if you get low HP you have high defense, which is not bad. And this one is a full burst. I would say decent passive, but you don't really need this one for sure. Prayer to the Light Tree Sachi. Spear skill, Frost and Dark. It does 1770% damage to its AoE. Stigma debuff, increased damage taken by the enemy for 80 seconds, 3 stack, plus 0.5% for every stack. So you can get up to 49.5 increased damage, and that is really good. Stigma is a really good debuff. And if you switch, you gain 9 stack instead of 3. So this one is not bad, pretty useful. And when it comes to Sigma, it's a really good debuff. And it's a debuff that requires almost every single raid and buff, so it can be really good. For example, for lazy floor 19, it can be really good, really useful, so it's a not bad skill. Before the sun comes up, Lifa is a axe skill, blunt and dark. It does 1300% damage in a target, gust 4 buff, when equipping 2 or more age skill in the same set, attack plus 39% for 5 seconds. Ooh, that is not bad buff, really good. Now, when you use this skill, you are reducing frost and slash element damage, minus 80% for 50 seconds. If you're using this in a raid, make sure do not use it. Only use it if the enemy is weak to blunt, that's it. Really good buff, really good support skill for sure. And when you're using rush, you recover 20% of your max HP, not bad. So yeah, this one I would say is a good support for blunt content. And since it's a blunt and dark, I guess it can be good for level 235. I believe it's weak to blunt and dark, right? So it can be really useful. So that was all the skill. Oh my god, 30 skill, yeah. Now the question is this banner worth to summon on? I would say no, not really. Because most of the skills here that we have talked about, the majority is pretty much useless or you don't really need them for sure. The only skill that I would say is pretty good for mostly late game, for late game players, I would say Lifa is good, Sachi is really good, Sanya, you don't really need it, Kirito you don't need it, Elizabeth you don't really need it, Yuki you don't really need it, Koharu you don't really need it, Asuna you don't need it, don't need, yeah. I would say only 2 skills out of 30 is pretty good. TLDR, not worth it. If you're new players or if you're rerolling or you started the game, save your Arcana gem, do not pull. Save your Arcana gems because we have more banner coming, we have new year that is coming. So my recommendation, save your Arcana gem, do not summon on this one unless you just like to collect skills and you don't have any of the skills that we talked about. So yeah, that's me. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Take care now and bye bye.